Okay, this is Soul of a Witch by Harley Laroux, and it's Becca and Megan.
Hey, hey.
And yeah, we can do our overall ratings, and I'll let you wake up, so I'll go first. Um, so I gave this one a 5 out of 5. I really loved this book. I thought it was. I dare like say it. I did like the other two, but I think this is
hmm
what I wanted in all the other books as well. But I
hmm
know that she has to. It would just be boring to do the same blueprint 3 times in a row. So I understand why she did what she did. Um, but like, I, I just really like the characters. I like the dynamic they had. Um, and it was just a little refreshing from the other books to have this totally different kind of plot point, not plot, but like subplots and point of views and stuff like that. So yeah, I love this so much. And Spice, I think I gave it a 4.
hmm
um it was really good spice, I would say. um it kind of hit all the marks without kind of overkill. um but overkill for me is literally porn. So I don't really know what, like, and it's at the point where I don't know what a 5 in my opinion would really be. So I'm just gonna give it a 4 and stay there with it. But um, yeah, loved it and would definitely recommend it and read it again. It was great.
Nice. All right, I think actually we match for the ratings. I gave this a 5 overall as well. Like you said, maybe I'm a little biased, but it was definitely leading up to there was a lot of suspense with the third book, like just learning about Everly and Callum, and we got little glimpses of them. But I did like what you mentioned, like the main plot and like the mini plot points like behind the scenes, and I also liked learning about what Everly was doing as the whole craziness was happening in Abelom. Um, so I like that it finally came to like a climax and we finally got to see that whole god side. So it's like way more fantasy than the other two, I think, at least for me, with
Mm-hmm.
actually the witch magic.
Yeah.
So that was like really what got all the points for me. Um, and then Spice, I also gave it a 4 out of 5. Um, Plentiful, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
But like I think like at least the way that she wrote it definitely spoke more to like Callum's character, I think. Like I didn't feel like I was attached to Zane and Leon as much as I did Callum and their like romance budding.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely like this one the most.
Yeah. I it's like hard because I want to ask like who was your favorite character, but I know we have the same one. But also at the same
hmm
time, it's hard because I really Everly was like really great too. So I feel like for me, there's not even like a favorite character. Like these characters just worked so well together that I don't know. Like it, I kind of was thinking throughout the book, like, the other characters' dynamics were like great, but
hmm
Callum's personality and character and his feelings and stuff really spoke out in this book, and that's what made me like. I was like tearing up at some parts. I was like, I had to keep reading at some parts, that kind of thing. So I just liked his character a lot.
Yeah, like I think he had way more depth personally with the romance. Like it wasn't just like, oh, they stumbled upon each other and then the demon found out that he could magically love and like had more human emotion. Like I loved the long game he played. He's like, this was my love for thousands upon thousands of years, and he was like hunting her down over
Mm-hmm.
time. So like I just think their backstory was like more not believable, but just like a better self for me.
Yeah, because it just kind of felt like, the first book is a typical like how we said before, like it was like Twilight for adults. Like it really was just like she like found this hot guy and she thought he was really hot and then ended up falling in love with him. Like cool. The second one, it was more like I feel like the romance was pushed a little bit more in the second
Mm-hmm.
one to make more sense. Because I could see Zane falling in love with her, sure, but like she has her own agenda, Juniper, so it was didn't feel as fluid, but this one felt very fluid.
Yeah, like the first one was almost like a surprise. The second one I
Mhm.
get, Zane was a hunter, so he like chose his prey,
Mhm.
quote unquote, and hunted her down. Like yeah, this one was more, I guess, natural. And I think one of the moments for me that I could not stop reading was when she was walking through, and that's when she like quote unquote found Callum and was like
Yes.
going
Oh
through the
my
time.
god.
It gave me like interstellar vibes
Wait,
that
did it give you Howl's Moving Castle though?
yes, yes,
Oh my
yes.
god. Killed me.
You know what's funny? I actually put on Howl's Moving Castle on my Spotify. Like there's like it's like Howl's Moving Castle like gentle meadow music,
Mhm.
like when they're in the meadow and they find each other,
Yeah.
and that's why I put it on. I
Oh
was
my god. It really did remind me of that. That was like a groundbreaking moment that I had to keep reading because I was like, "Oh my god, like I feel like I've seen this before."
I know, and maybe that's why we were like so connected to it. But yeah, it like even just that, I think like it just had so much more depth. Like she was like weaving the story and from the beginning to the end, like it was like surprise after surprise, and I loved
Mhm.
like him being supportive throughout time, and like they were literally meant to be together for thousands of years.
Yeah.
It
I
was
love that. It's
very
so
cute.
romantic.
Yes, very romantic. And even like just his writing, I feel like he had the most depth. Like he was the oldest. Like I could actually tell in his writing, like
Yeah.
it didn't, you remember how we were talking about Leon, like, oh, I vape, I smoke. Like
Yeah, yeah.
she actually wrote it like he was like a 2,000-year-old being, or
Mhm.
however old he is. Like I actually like that she wrote him like using old terms of phrase and stuff like that. Like it
Yeah.
actually felt like she put more thought, I guess, into his character.
Mhm. Yeah, I just really like how the first two books for me, I really feel like there were the first two books, yeah, but I really feel like it was just two books leading up to this big final like couple. Like she hinted off of them multiple times through both books, but I really feel like it was just, oh, here's these two books with these two couples. That's great, but like I'm leading you up to the big bang here.
hmm And when I was thinking of speaking of the Big Bang, the whole God part, I was a
Mhm.
little surprised as I was getting farther and farther into book. I was like, wow, there isn't much pages left when they finally did fight the god.
Mhm.
But even though the fight was like brief in my opinion, I still feel like there was enough of the rest of the book that like that it didn't lose points for me there. Like I just think it was well done still,
Yeah,
the fight, the climax.
yeah, I kind of feel the same way like and it kind of does make sense that like Ray like injured the god in her book. So it was
Mhm.
all overlapping at the same time. So I guess it would make sense. And then Homegirl Everly straight up just like died and then had like a final form moment and like just turned into a demon. So
Absolutely. Yeah.
I can see how it could be rushed, but I could see how it was like meant to be that way just because like if this girl's so fucking strong that she could turn into a demon like that it's not going to be a fair fight. Like she's going to kill that god within seconds.
Yeah, and even like the god was even like, "Oh, your magic can't hurt me." And Callum noticed like his flesh wasn't like healing or
Yeah,
anything, and it kept staying seared. I literally like I was locked in. I had to sit up straight.
I
I
know.
was relaxing, and I was like, "This is gonna get real."
Mhm. Yeah.
But I definitely like how there was some callbacks to other major scenes, and we got like a different point of view because like Everly, we kind of saw her as like timid, I guess, and being really quiet and doing a lot of like off-screen stuff.
Mhm.
But I liked knowing what she was doing in the background because like she didn't have a hand in any of the Hadley nonsense. She didn't have a hand in any of the sacrifice nonsense, but like
Mhm.
she was the one who took down the god. But I was really like grateful. I was like, yes, we finally get to see that scene because
Mhm.
that was like the big climax of it all.
Yeah, cuz after Juniper's story, it felt like, oh, she did what she had to do, but like, what else is there? So that's why I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, when we had this book in mind already, we were like, okay, like now's the time, like shit's gonna get done. Um, so I liked Juniper's story for that. Like, oh, I finished what I had to do, so like it's not my problem now. Um,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, which is really her character. Like she's like, I'm gonna kill the people who tried to kill me, and then I'm gonna dip out, and the rest is your issue.
yeah,
She's like, I just want revenge on the people. I don't give a fuck about this god.
yeah. She's like, I don't care. I just want to do my thing, and if we all die, we die. It's all right.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I know that like a lot of people hate this trope, and I feel like you probably do too. But uh, I liked the ending where he, or like the part where he was like, "Oh, she smells different. I wonder why," and I instantly knew. But
Mm-hmm.
I usually don't like when they force the pregnancy trope. Um, but in this instance, I do. I really liked when she put that trope in because it was just like, I don't know. To me, it was like, okay, their job is done. Like they simply just want to live in peace now. Like taking away, like not taking anything away, but like adding something like a baby to the mix. It's like it didn't hurt the character, which sometimes it usually does.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. What did you feel about that, or how did you feel about that?
I am usually a hater on that
Mm-hmm.
trope, but I agree. I felt like, yeah, and usually I don't. But like you said, I feel like there was, and also I knew the second they mentioned about a tea that she had
Mm-hmm.
to drink, I was like, I already know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, I had a
Then we got a
feeling.
little, yeah, we got a little more hint where they, when he was talking to Lucifer, and he's like, you need to find your soul, or if a half demon baby were to come through, like we need that in our ranks. And I was like, all right, foreshadowing.
Yeah, yeah,
But yeah, like you mentioned, I think like the romance technically for me didn't feel very rushed, even though it was only over a couple months, because like Callum had already like quote unquote given his soul to her decades, centuries prior. So like I actually was like, okay, I kind of don't mind it. Most times I gag,
yeah.
but it was kind of cute. And like you said, they both were like fighting for so long for their entire lives that they finally get to like know peace. So I was like, this was actually a cute ending. It just wasn't like, oops, I forgot to drink my tea this time.
Yeah, I think it was, and it wasn't just like, oops, I forgot. Like, she literally was like, no, it can't be right. Like, I actually drank it. She's like, oh, wait. And then I didn't after that, and after that, and after that. Like,
Mhm.
that kind of thing because they were so busy and so crazy that,
Mhm.
like it wasn't like, oopsie. Like, she actually was just like, oh, fuck. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, I did like how the way that went. I wasn't mad about it. And I did like that we actually saw hell
Yeah.
this time around.
Definitely.
I was really surprised by that because we got the, I don't even know what to call it, like in the book prior. It was just like a,
It was just like a club, I think,
yeah,
like a big party, abandoned warehouse party.
yeah, but it was like linked to hell or something.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, when I was reading like the descriptions of hell, all I could think about was, I don't know if you played this one, but um, the newest Zelda game, the Tears of the Kingdom.
I haven't.
So there's like a section that you have to go in under the ground, and it's like another world beneath the world, and it's like
Mhm.
all dark and like trees are like different colors and stuff. Like that's exactly what I pictured. Um, but yeah, it definitely was really cool, and the author definitely described it perfectly to where I could imagine it.
Yeah, and I like the like difference also because in every other book hell's like, a barren landscape filled with like torture and like screaming souls and everything, but
Mm-hmm.
like in these books like hell is a beautiful metropolis where every demon is like free and equal, and I was like, wow, I really like just the new take on hell. And like you said, like I was picturing it crystal clear. And also I know you texted me about this, but one thing that like threw me for a loop was the bonus chapter
Yeah.
because it said hell. I was like, yeah, so you get to see a little more hell. And I kind of figured that we would get to see some dragons because he mentioned them earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And then it said Juniper. And I was like, oh, okay, maybe we get to know more about Juniper because she willingly wanted to go to hell even before she died.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, are they like gonna meet up in hell or something and do like a double date? What's going on?
Yeah.
Like, how did that get through all the editors?
I don't know. I did see another typo on another page, and it was just like they forgot to hit the space bar in between two words. So I was like, okay, whatever.
I have several tabs that were typos, and
Yeah.
like I am really anal with grammar, and
Mm-hmm.
if I see a typo, it like really distracts me. That's just me though, and there were this book was riddled with them.
Really? I
That
only
kind of
had a few.
when I say riddled, like I put dark blue tabs. I see one, two, three, four, five. I'm
Oh,
counting at least
five's... Wow.
I'm counting at least six, and that was through halfway through the book, and then I stopped actually tabbing them because I'm like, this is just a waste of time. I just need to start
Wow.
ignoring them.
Maybe I didn't notice, or I did get mine at Barnes& and Noble, so I don't know if it was like a different batch from what you got. But,
Yeah, I got mine on Amazon.
hmm. Yeah, that's weird. I only noticed the one and then the second one in the epilogue. I mean, the epilogue one is huge because
Yeah, that's
I
the
was
like
so confused.
me too. And like I was reading the one page and I kept flipping back and I was like, wait. I know that she said that she wanted to go to hell, and I was reading. I was like, there's no way Callum would do any of this with anyone except for
Yeah,
Everly. Honestly, what I think she probably did was she had the bonus chapter from book two. I think that she copied and pasted it, like so that she had
oh
like
yeah,
the little design, and then probably just forgot to change Juniper's name to Everly.
probably yeah. It did throw me off though because I was like, oh,
hmm
interesting, a Juniper page. But yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, whatever.
I'm gonna be honest. I gave her the benefit of the doubt, and I was like, okay, is there gonna be a little group here? Are they gonna be doing something crazy in
Right?
hell?
I kind of thought that was gonna be something like that too.
Because I was like, Zane is out there, Everly's adventurous,
Mm-hmm.
Juniper doesn't care.
Yeah.
But no.
Nope. And then Raylan's just living in fucking France,
Mm-hmm.
living the life.
Living like Larry.
Living like Larry in France with Leon. Unreal.
I did have to ask you, did something bothered me that was like literally on every other page, and maybe I'm just crazy.
Oh god.
The my witch, my demon thing literally sent me up a wall.
Well, when they
I was
called each other that.
every other page, my demon, my witch, and I'm like, for the love of God, please stop.
Yeah, it did get a little repetitive. Um, like what was the one? Was it Bride that did the same thing? I forget which one
Yes.
we made fun of. But
I
yeah.
think I think we also made fun of like star-crossed or serpents, the
Oh
second
yeah,
book.
Ashes and the Starcursed King.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, with whatever they said. I was
Mm-hmm.
like, oh my god.
I
Yeah,
was like, barf. I get it. We get it.
yeah. I kind of like overlooked the witch and demon things. I was like, all right, I've had enough. And the darling thing, I was just like, oof. All right, it was cute like the first two times, and I was like, nope.
Mm-hmm.
Like all I think of is that TikTok where he's like, darling, guess who's back from jail? And that's all I could hear in my head. um, but yeah, that was everything else made up for those facts.
Yes, like even these few things that annoyed me, like I still give it a five. Yeah.
A
Wait,
5.
five. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Yeah. I loved it. And I don't know. I just like I Callum was just like a dream. Like I don't know. Like everybody wants a man that like worships the ground they walk on. And
Oh
that's what
yeah, that
he
too.
is. But
Absolutely.
I did like how they switched up different smut stuff. Like she Ariel, oh my god. I'm gonna kill myself. Everly's character was like very timid and like a virgin and stuff like that, and then once she got like a taste of like what like sex was. She was like, "Oh, I'm doing everything."
Mm-hmm.
She's like, "I'm pulling out all the stops."
Well, Harley definitely wrote to all of the book girlies out there
Oh
because
yeah.
like she had all these ideas and like also like you said like it's more of like a dream man where he read the one book and was getting ideas from the book.
Oh yeah.
I was just like slow clap there.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and he's like, "Oh, you're so adventurous. This is also new for you." And I was like, "Actually, no, she's got ideas."
Yeah, she reads what we read.
Yes,
She
exactly.
knows. She knows what she wants. She just doesn't know how to do
Uh-huh.
it.
Exactly. She just never felt safe enough to do it with anyone else. It was like so sad when they were talking about it because he's like, "You're so beautiful. How had no one claimed you yet?" And she was like, I kind of couldn't let anyone because they would be in danger." And I was like,
Mm.
"Oh, that's really sad." And then like he's like, "I am the danger."
He's like, I like pain.
Mm-hmm.
Hurt me. And she's like, okay. Yeah, I thought they were sweet together. Like, it
Yeah.
wasn't even, I wouldn't even classify this as like grumpy sunshine. It was just almost like overconfident man and timid woman. Like,
Yes, definitely.
it was cute. I really liked how they wrote them.
Yeah, and she became confident in time with his like praise and he's just like pretty much fuck everybody else. Like she had such a
Mm-hmm.
traumatic early life
Yeah.
and he helped her like realize her true potential. Of course, like the magic growing with their love, all that. I'm just a sap. Uh
Mm-hmm.
I loved it all.
Yeah, and I just like how in the other books, like the way that what they were described by the other characters, like I remember the scene when they take Juniper in the greenhouse
Mhm.
and he lets go of Zane and he goes over to Everly and he's like, send them away, get them out of here, or something like that.
Mhm.
And when I first read that, I was like, oh, he's gonna kind of be a little controlling. But in this book, it showed like he wasn't being controlling. He was saying like, you're the most powerful. You can do what you want. Like you can send them away, or you can kill them, or you can keep them here, or like kind of putting his whole trust in her, like, and basically saying, basically pouting, like, all right, come on, let's go.
Yeah, he was like, I want alone time. I agree. Like, and that was one more thing I was mentioning. Like, we just got little tidbits, and maybe that like piqued my curiosity in the other two books.
Mm-hmm.
But definitely his love language is like words of affirmation,
Yeah.
because like all throughout the book, she was being so self-sabotaging and like she just never learned. She would like I think he said something along the lines of like you were taught all your life to put yourself down and you were taught to fear the power within you instead of like harness it. So
Mm-hmm.
it was like cute how like he helped her
Yeah.
realize like her true potential.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I just can't get over the ending part of how it reminded me of Howl's Moving Castle. Like all I heard was "find me in the future." Like that's
Mm,
I was just like, oh my fucking god, like that is crazy that the author did that, and I love them for it.
I know, and the on Spotify when I was listening to, it's technically like someone put it in as a podcast, so it's just like a 2 hour loop.
Yeah.
And the beginning, like it's how it's like, "Hello, Sophie, darling," and
Mm-hmm.
I was and I was reading that in like Callum's voice.
Mm-hmm. All 7 foot of him and
All
his
seven.
deep ass voice.
Hmm. And then also like even his eyes being black, like that was one more thing. She's like, I looked into the void and like saw emotions. I was just like, I think I pictured him the clearest out
Oh
of
yeah, for sure.
the other two.
Yeah, I wasn't sure how to picture him in the other book. She didn't really give much of a description.
Yeah.
Just like they said, like this big winged man, pretty much.
Hmm.
But yeah, the Everly gave him like so many descriptions when she was like talking about him, like dark hair and black eyes and feathery or not feathery, leathery long
Hmm.
wings and stuff like that. But yeah, I could picture him definitely the clearest out of the
Yeah,
others.
definitely. Did you have like a overall favorite scene?
I think is the one where she sees him in the past, for sure.
Yeah. That one almost. I actually did not cry in this book, but that one was very close.
I teared up when he made her that fucking picnic basket.
The picnic got me.
I, I was like, why am I tearing up? This is so sad. For me,
And
like, why am I crying?
and it's also so cute. Like he doesn't have to eat, but he was like, I'm gonna try these things anyway and just make random food combinations. It was just like I was like, that is just so cute.
And how he knows what tea she wants for what time of day and how she's feeling. I was like, oh my god. Let's get
Banging
us
my
a
head on the
man.
table.
Yeah, let's get us a man like that.
And also, one more thing I loved. Where was I going with this? Oh my gosh, sorry. Come back to me. Come back to me. I'll remember it.
Um,
Oh, I remember. He was just like when he was like, "Oh, her stomach was protruding a little bit because she was finally eating and she felt safe enough to eat now that we know she was pregnant." But actually, I was just like, "Yes, yes, yes." Like he's actually like noticing the change in her body and he's like, "I love it. Like she's actually becoming healthy now." And he's like, "That's all thanks to me."
yeah, I did that.
He's like, "There, that's my handiwork." And it was. He
And
just
it
thought it was
was,
food
in a
related.
literal sense.
Yep, he just thought it was food related.
Food baby.
Yep. He's
Could have
like, wow,
been food baby.
she's eating a lot.
Yeah.
I did that.
He's like, I cooked for her. I did
Uh-huh.
that.
And I
I
was like,
made
yeah.
that food.
I was like, she is eating a lot. She's eating for two.
Dumbass. You've been alive for thousands of years. Idiot. God. Uh, okay. I mean, I feel like we covered it.
Yeah,
Do you have
definitely.
anything else to input?
No, I would just absolutely recommend this series. And like you said, the first two books were good in their own right, but I do think they were like stepping stones to get to this last one. Like this was like the icing on the cake for the entire series. So this is definitely a top contender for dark romance series.
Yeah, and I definitely feel like even though the author said that you can read these separately, I would recommend reading all three because I feel like if you don't, you'll be lost.
Yeah, and like it also sets the stage. It makes the fight all the more sweet, like getting the other angles. And also, like we were mentioning, we really didn't know anything about Everly. We just got little tidbits. So I think like um, reading them in order is what you need, like to actually set the stage for the whole story
Oh, yeah.
overall.
Definitely, definitely. All right. Cool.
All right.
Okay, this was Soul of a Witch, the conclusion of the 3 books that we did by Harley Laroux. And this is Megan and Becca. And yeah, see you next time. Bye.
See ya.